Now, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, welcome into WPRI New England Nation Double OT with Yanni Karakis, Maury Hirsch-Gordon. I'm Ruthie Polinsky. I'm so happy my shoes are in the shot today.
I think very dapper. Do you own those or do you rent those
No,
too?
I own these. You can't rent shoes. I don't rent them away. However, when it's the 3 shot, when all 3 of us are here, it's a wider shot. When it's 2 of us, it's tighter, so I don't get my shoes in it.
Well, that time you had your Air Force Ones, stomping in your Air Force Ones.
We couldn't see them.
You lifted those up. Did you watch the Blues last night?
I watched the end. I watched them lose in overtime.
Oh, Gloria.
Tough. They play Gloria one more time, raising that banner.
I think it was cutting video
luck.
today of Jordan Binnington and remembering how much of a little dweeb he was after winning the cup. I'm standing next to him like, you're the guy that shut down the Bruins. Like, oh, give me a break.
Legend.
Horrible. He couldn't grow a beard, like, the playoff beard.
He's a child.
Looked like white trash. Yeah.
All right, we're not going to talk about hockey yet. Great for Layla. That was cool.
Yes,
Did you see them
cool.
bring her ring? Every single player's ring, like when you take off the ring and you look at the inside, every single player's ring says Layla.
Really? That's
You
cool.
didn't know that?
No.
For her inspiration. She provided a ton of inspiration. She's amazing.
Team Layla.
I did not get a ring. Joey Mack asked me if I got a ring. I said no.
Why would you get a ring?
Because I'm the mascot of St. Louis.
The amount she was waffling between Bruins and Blues last year.
It was I just wanted 7 games and I got it.
Yeah.
At least I got to see St. Louis not celebrate their own city. Your city was so ready for that moment, and it just didn't come. It was hilarious.
That was so horrible. Game 6 was wild that they didn't win that.
I can't believe St. Louis won in
Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about the Bees in a minute.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Patriots first. Steven Gostkowski out for the year. Yanni and Maury, you guys can stop your screaming about his
Gresh in him.
I know, it was you and Gresh, really.
Me and Gresh, head to head.
Head to head. We now know that it was because of a hip injury that apparently he tried to fight through. Couldn't do it. He's having season-ending hip surgery. So, Patriots bring in Mike Nugent. I forgot his name for a second. Mike Nugent, 37-year-old. Has kicked for 17. Listen to this. He's been in the league for 14 years. He's kicked for 7 different teams, and he's only been in 5 playoff games.
Yeah.
He also
5 playoff games in. That's crazy.
The
when you think
knock on
about
him too was missing extra points. That's what sort of got him out of the league. When they moved the extra point back, he was like outspoken about it and hasn't. What's our question, by the way?
Oh, sorry. The question is, are you worried about the Patriots kicker or kicking situation?
Am I worried in week 5 against Washington? No, because they're not going to need him this weekend. I'm a little nervous about a game in January coming down to a kick and he gets the yips and it's tied and it's the Chiefs and it's an AFC Championship game and it's a 30-yarder and he hooks one wide left. That's totally in the cards.
What about the regular season against the Chiefs? It was 43-40 the game last year.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we can't project what he's going to be. Make your kicks 40 yards and under. Try to go 75%, 40 to 50, and then hopefully Bill Belichick sort of has a gauge on where he's at. And if they start going for more on 4th down, I'm fine with that. Just make your easy ones, make your extra points, and if you can't kick a 55-yarder in the rain and sleet and snow, that's fine. Just make the ones you need to hit. But this is as uneasy as Patriot fans have ever felt about the kicker because they've had 25 years of Vinatieri and Gostkowski. So who knows what this guy's going to be? And they've never really been burned by one end of game kick like the Bears were last year.
All right, so I want to back up. This whole Steven Gostkowski drama with Andy Gresh started because Steven Gostkowski was missing field goals. Okay, we don't know about the left hip injury. Finally, Belichick and crew bring in somebody else, and that's after we find out that there's an injury. They needed to bring somebody else in a week or 2 ago, not on a Wednesday right before Sunday. If this has been a lingering issue, clearly Belichick and his staff had known that there's something going on with the hip. It looked like maybe against the Bills, that was when that the injury got exacerbated. Exactly. So there's not that much time to bring in Nugent. I am worried about him being the kicker of the Patriots in terms of the experience right away with the guys. I don't think it'll cost them any games in the next couple weeks. Giants, Redskins, whoever they have on the schedule. The only thing, though, that I am okay with in terms of him kicking and maybe not trusting him is the defense. So the Patriots' defense is so good in terms of, as long as the Patriots are on the plus side of the 45, they will be fine. even if they don't kick the field goal, they go for it on 4th down. The Patriots defense has enough field to put the clamps down. So, there's two sides of it. I would probably lean that, I'm not worried about it because the Patriots defense can overcome different things.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a kicker. You're generally not talking about a kicker unless he wins the game or loses the game, right?
Correct.
So all things being equal, hopefully we're not even talking about this dude.
Correct. That's how I feel.
All right.
I think
it's funny that it's
like, a problem. It's not a problem until it is, right? I mean, like, there's no real way to be like, are we worried? Like, obviously there's some uncertainty, but
if this was not the Redskins and this was a viable opponent, if this was the Chiefs week, we'd be talking more about the game.
Sure.
It's just like a convenient storyline, timely for this week.
Sure. All right. Patriots, Redskins predictions. We're taping this at 7:43 on a Thursday night before the game, where Antonio Brown is maybe going to be back on the roster.
Let's not spend that much time on this topic.
Yeah, what are we going to talk about?
What are the predictions? I don't care who the Redskins quarterback is.
Doesn't matter.
This is also funny that it's like, ooh, who's the quarterback going to be? Who cares?
It's the only thing we have to talk about.
Right.
It's the only thing we have to talk about.
So I was just working on New England Nation, and I watched Jay Gruden's press conference from yesterday. Talk about a guy that is demoralized. Ugh. I mean, holy cow. And it's almost like
his job is on
the bullets are coming at him, and he's just like sort of going like that, like a million quarterback questions. Like, how Belichick eventually either just walks off or just puts an end to it, onto this, onto this, onto this. God, I'm looking at this man. It's like he may be fired Monday.
I mean, there is not a worst case scenario for Jay Gruden when the New England Patriots are coming to town.
In fact, someone said, I think this was Stephen A. Smith today. I heard this while I was at the gym. He said they would have fired him already, but they don't want a new coach to make their debut against the Patriots.
So true.
But I've also heard the Redskins have no one in the pipeline. There's no coordinator who's like qualified to do this job. At any rate, they are woefully understaffed, unprepared. They have not a lot of talent. So the Patriots are going to win, I think, 30-13. I guess at this point,
27-10. We have the same pick.
27-10.
We have the same.
I guess put Haskins in because you already put him in. Everyone's like, put kid gloves on him. He's not ready. But at this point, it looks like Colt McCoy. I don't know.
It's just a bad situation to put a rookie quarterback in, especially last week when he put him in against the Giants. He has no weapons on the outside. Adrian Peterson is 1,000 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been in the league for 200 years.
Yeah, he has no help. I'd throw Colt McCoy out there. I mean, what's the stat against rookie quarterbacks? Patriots haven't lost in 18, 19, the last 19 games. So yeah, I think it's going to be a complete blowout, and I don't think we have to worry about it. I said we don't have to wake up for this season until the Patriots go on the road and face the Ravens.
I was talking about this with my good friend William Benenson, bestpatriotscoverage.com. Is it? He used the term, is it boring, like the Patriots' success? And I said it's not boring, but like these weeks against the Redskins, it's a foregone conclusion.
Thank God.
And we know they're going to win the division and get to the AFC Championship, barring something unforeseen. So I'm rooting for Cleveland to do well, the Giants, so that when the Pats see those teams in a couple weeks, it's a game.
Yeah.
Like it was cool last week that, even though the game was sort of ugly, that the Bills were only a 7-point underdog or a favorite underdog, and that it was a relatively close game. Going and beating Washington by 3 scores isn't all that compelling.
It's not. It's not.
No, it's not.
Is that all we have to say about this?
It's also like the it's always the 2 December games.
You love the Redskins. Yanni's a huge Redskins fan.
No, they're so dysfunctional. I covered them previous stops.
Honestly, there's something to me that's so, from a media perspective, there's something so intriguing to me about covering a bad team that's just a disaster of an organization, because we've seen it at this highest level. And for more, I mean, you covered a little bit of Green Bay, but like this is the first NFL team I've covered, and I just like don't know anything else.
Yeah.
So like to be able to actually ask a coach questions and actually get answers. Like for example, I was talking to people in the media today about this. Why didn't Bill Belichick just say in his press conference, like any other head coach in the league would be like, we're putting Steven Gostkowski on IR. We have a couple guys in here to work out. What are you invading like a foreign country? Like this is football, and we're not. You won't tell us that you put your kicker, who you love and appreciate, and like just let us know. Like it's our job as the media to tell the story. Unbelievable.
It's like he's just screwing with us.
Yeah, he just likes to.
He doesn't acknowledge something, and then the press release comes out 8 minutes after he walks off the stage.
Yeah, or while he's on the stage is the best part. All right, we're going to Bruins.
It sounds like a great New England Nation this week with nothing to talk about.
I can't believe you led with Bruins over me today at 6.
Were you offended?
You're
talking about a kicker. This is the defending Eastern Conference champs starting their season.
Not stealing.
Were you offended?
No, not really.
You always lead Pats, regardless.
I know.
Always.
Well, I
No
think
love
my
for what
sports
would you have led
director.
with
When in
today?
doubt.
It's tough.
It's tough.
That's a tough one.
I
But
don't know.
one
If the
time I
Bruins
think-
were at home, maybe bees. I feel like they're kind of far away. No one's really talking about them.
They're not.
I don't know what the intrigue was.
Well, I
today.
think one time my sports director told me, like, always lead with Pats if there's
Me?
new info.
Me?
Okay.
If there,
It's like Shaughnessy has
This is
this.
inside
Shaughnessy
baseball.
has this line. I think I heard him like a while back say, "Oh, and like 5-10 years ago, if I ever had to, couldn't write anything or needed to come up with something
Right.
to write about Tom Brady."
Yeah.
Or just like 30 years
When
ago,
in
it was just
doubt,
like
talk
write
Patriots.
about the Sox.
Yeah.
Write about Larry Bird. Write about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I'm not
the first.
offended at all.
Would I have led with the Bruins any other day besides a playoff game
Well,
or
why
opening
did
day?
we lead with Patriots and Double OT?
Because that's sort of like a branding thing. I
Oh,
don't
you're right.
know.
New England Nation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure our 18 viewers are really captivated by
18
this.
is high.
No, 18 is low. Come on, we strive for greatness.
Will Mokler said he's going to subscribe to the podcast.
I
He
appreciate
told us
that.
he's listened to like a couple
It
episodes
has 5
before
stars
this.
on iTunes. I think that's my mom, maybe, and my brother.
Your mom can use Apple Podcasts?
No, definitely not my mom.
Okay, your Bruins season predictions.
I don't love teams coming off of losing championships.
You
In
don't love
general.
teams coming off of a championship appearance. It's just hard
It's
to
a
get back
lot.
there. It's
It's
hard
a
to get
lot
back there.
emotionally, physically. I mean, as you and Joey were saying the other day, it was mid-June. It's like
3
literally
months.
2 months ago.
You have 3 months
July,
to
August,
yeah.
September, 3 months.
July, August, September.
But all right, you lose Johansson and you lose
Achari.
Nola Chari. That's really it.
Right.
Krejci's banged up right now. Bergeron's banged up, but like everyone's back. So they're going to be in the mix. They're going to the playoffs, and then it'll be Toronto, it'll be Tampa, it'll be Washington. Who else is good? He has Florida he likes.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And I think last year the Tuukka Rask and Halak splitting really worked out and made Tuukka fresh in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Cassidy's got a great thing going. So I think they'll be back in the Eastern Conference Finals. Will they get to the finals? I'm not ready to
Back
say
to
that
the
quite
Eastern
yet.
Conference Finals. That's tough for me. That's tough for me because
So they'd
Tampa
have to
Bay
win 2
losing,
rounds.
Tampa Bay getting swept in the first round was cake for the
They
Bruins.
had a cake
They had a
cake
great
playoff
path
schedule.
to the Stanley Cup. So whether or not they can they'll get back to the playoffs. Can they get through the Eastern Conference and make it to the finals and then potentially get back to the Stanley Cup finals? That's hard. That's going to be harder this year.
I think a lot has to go wrong for them not to make the playoffs. I draw a lot of comparisons between last year's Red Sox team
That's what I said
and
to Joey
last year's
Mack.
Bruins team in terms of the veteran leadership, the kind of run that they had, even though I think the Red Sox run was a little bit more impressive, not that the fact that they won it all because of the teams they had to beat. Anyway, I think if the veterans hold up, they'll be back in the playoffs. They're going to win a round or two. Some stat I was reading was the last 9 teams to make it to a Game 7 of the Cup final and lose didn't make it past the second round the following year. So I think the
Nugget.
Bruins make the playoffs. I think hockey, there's a lot of puck luck. I mean, that's what the guys always talk about, getting the right bounce. So I think they make the playoffs. I think anything can happen in the NHL, but I don't know.
Like
It's
last year, you
a
saw
lot
the
of
Capitals had
parallels.
a big Stanley Cup hangover.
Yeah.
Maybe the Blues have that this year. But they seem, based on the interviews I've listened to, they seem in a pretty good headspace.
It feels like they're almost hungry, or like they're so angry about getting all the way to Game 7 and losing at home. Like, how brutal is that? And then you're almost itching to get back and start playing hockey again, rather than just like sulking the whole summer kind of type thing.
Yeah.
These
you know?
first 4 games are huge. On the road
They have a tough
against,
schedule to
against
start.
formidable opponents. You can't be like the Red Sox. You got to
Start slow, yeah.
Yeah, you got to go
I think
500
this
out of the
Bruins
game.
team is more mentally tough than that Red Sox. I can't imagine the Bruins missing the playoffs.
And yeah, I mean, you talked about like that veteran leadership that the Bruins have. I think the Red Sox almost lacked a little bit of that veteran leadership. Like, it felt a little bit of a younger, like, I don't know, like a new combination of guys that weren't able to kind of know how to win, regroup over the summer, and then get back. Like, they were kind of just like party. Whereas like you have guys like Chara, Bergeron, guys who have been there and kind of know how to maybe handle this offseason. But like you said, I mean, it's 2 months before you start training camp. It's crazy.
Yeah, too short of a off season.
That's it.
a long
They'll be
All
back.
right, let's go to the Boston Celtics, who are starting training camp, preseason opener on
Saturday?
Saturday.
They start
Saturday?
in Philly October 25th, or do they start in Toronto?
What are your biggest takeaways so far, just from hearing from the guys kind of after the summer?
Biggest takeaways. I think they're going to win about the same amount of games that they did last year, but it's going to be a lot more fun to watch. I think.
Where they finished? They were the 4th seed. Where they win like 46 games, 48 games.
48, I believe. Yep, I believe it was 48. Yeah, I think Gordon Hayward's going to have a really big bounce back year. I need to see another step from Jason Tatum, and I need to see it for a long period of time. I mean, this is a guy that lit it up in the playoffs, which was one part of his freshman season, rookie season. Last year, he had spurts back and forth, a little bit of a power struggle. Kyrie, Gordon coming back. Tatum wants to take this next step. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. There's a lot of pieces last year. Jason Tatum has got to be an 18 to 21 point guy. He's got to be a guy that's going to take shots late in the game, make shots. Kemba's got to find him. I think he's the biggest X factor. I think we know what we're going to get from other pieces. Enes Kanter has his role down low. Jaylen Brown, I think, is going to improve. Marcus Smart is your junk house dog. Kemba Walker is your all-star. I think Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum are the two biggest X factors. If they both play at the level they're capable of, I think this team can be a top 4 team in the East. They can get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it lies, in the hands of Tatum and Hayward, their production. You
can already tell that the attitude is better. You can already tell that they like each other. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's basketball. They're, teasing each other on media day. They're like, it's just like more fun already. But
that's
before we've even seen them play a game.
The cancer has left town.
The cancer is gone. And I think, Maury, to your point, I think and I hope that's what's going to help elevate Jason Tatum, because I think that maybe that threesome of Kyrie, Jaylen, and Jason just didn't work.
Sure.
It just didn't work. So if Kemba is able to kind of be a leader in a way where he's elevating the people around him, which is exactly what Kyrie did not do, then I hope we'll be able to see that next step from Jason Tatum. And I agree with you that could be your key factor in terms of the Celtics' success. I'm hoping also that Enes Kanter is as good on the field as he is on the court as he is in front of the media, because he's so likable.
Great social media guy.
Great interview, kind of says what's on his mind.
Yeah. Where's number 11?
Where's number 11 for a reason. And it's just, I hope that he's as good, with the team around him. I also think what he said about Gordon Hayward stood out to me, that he was the one, I think, that said big things coming for Gordon Hayward this year. He's back.
I do not expect a lot from Gordon Hayward. I don't see the bounce back. Why do we think this is happening? Because he's 2 years back from an ankle.
Yeah, I think it takes a full year and a new system.
I hope he comes back. I don't think we're ever seeing the Gordon Hayward from Utah again.
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing an all-star. Maybe we're seeing a 12, 13 point a game guy. I agree with what you guys said about the camaraderie and kumbaya. Everyone's excited. Jaylen Brown looks enormous. Like he's put on like a ton of weight.
He does.
Jacked.
Cut his hair.
Cut his hair. I need him and Tatum.
Better.
If these guys want big contracts and they're all-star caliber players, they need to make the proverbial jump. I think it's great that Kemba Walker, if he's their star, all-star, has a good way about him and likes his teammates and is going to root for his teammates. So I think all that works. And Brad Stevens, I think, was handcuffed a little last year by Kyrie Irving, and he's such a great coach. And he was the next Popovich, and that sort of brought him back a rung last year. So I think he's going to. I mean, there were years where he was getting 40-plus wins out of Avery Bradley, Evan Turner, and Jared Sullinger. I mean, so if he can sort of put all the puzzle pieces together. I think they're going to be the 3 seed after Milwaukee and Philly. I think they're above Toronto. Who else is above Indiana? Who else is supposed to be good in the East?
Indiana's going to be interesting with Oladipo back.
Depends, yeah.
So, good thing so far. Seems like everyone's happy.
I think another big thing, not a lot of people are talking about the rookies. And I think there's so many other pieces. Taco. There's so many other veterans. I think that they won't need to contribute so much in the early part of the season and throughout the regular season. I think we're going to see bright spots of Carson Edwards. I think we're going to see really bright spots of Grant Williams. I think we're going to think they're better than they are because they're only going to have to play 10 minutes a game, and they're only going to have to produce a couple points here or there, a big bucket, a big rebound. if this team was a couple years ago where, Jason Tatum has to take a jump in the playoffs, Jaylen Brown has to take a big jump. I don't think these are the guys that are capable right now.
Right,
Grant Williams
They're
needs a
pretty
few
raw.
years to kind of get into it. Carson Edwards needs to find the flow of the NBA game. And then Taco Fall's the big question. I would love to just see him at the end of the bench, smiling away, making jokes.
What
about,
how about Robert Williams?
I was just going to say
Robert Williams
Yeah.
can make a jump
Second
this
year,
year.
yeah.
Second year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why am I forgetting his nickname?
The Time Lord.
Time Lord.
Because he was late one day or something.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Remember after
He was
he
late
got
to his
drafted?
intro
Press
presser,
conference.
wasn't he?
And then
missed his flight.
missed the plane.
Missed his flight. And remember they couldn't get a hold of him. We couldn't do the phoner after the
Yeah.
draft or something. Anyway, hopefully, I think he's. Anyway. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it, squad. Thank you so much for joining us here on New England Nation, WPRI, OOT. We talk all things New England sports, but mostly Patriots, because we always lead with the Patriots. For Yanni Karakis, Maury Hirschgård, and I'm Ruthie Polinsky. Thanks for watching.